fight is just like life. It's the closest thing to life that you're ever gonna find. You gotta fight for everything. You gotta stand up for yourself. You get knocked down, you gotta get back up. You understand me?
Most people that aren't fighters, they can't see that. To them, it appears physical, Roy.
Yeah, it appears physical, but there's so much more that goes into it mentally than you'd ever know. Fighting is the closest sport to me that's comparable to life, to everyday life. That mentality is what you must learn to have. That's what animals taught me. The animals taught me that you always carry yourself as though you're the boss. Because when people see you, they know that's a boss. If I want to be the boss, I got to be that boss. Because that boss is a boss. That's how he carries himself. That's how he thinks. That's how he eats. That's how he drinks. Everything about him is the boss. And if you don't have it to start with, then he's not really a boss.
What's it going to be like on the 28th? And how is it going to play out?
You're going to see a guy who is always most confident. And when I look across the ring and see that kill over there, I'm going to laugh because guess what? There's a bear across the ring. And guess what I'm about to do? My job tonight is to walk over there and poke that damn bear, piss him off, see what he can do. I am still Roy Jones. Y'all must have forgot.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs, sharing our vulnerability, overcoming our fears, transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go? This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is... This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Roy Jones Jr., the American boxing champion, trainer, commentator, and entrepreneur. You began boxing professionally in 1989 and have won 66 professional fights and 12 titles across the middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight divisions. You're the only boxer in history to start your career as a junior middleweight and go on to win a heavyweight title and are widely recognized as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time. In 2003, you won the WBA heavyweight belt, becoming the first former middleweight champion to win a heavyweight title in 106 years. On November 28th, you are set to face the former undisputed heavyweight champion Mike Tyson at the Staples Center in Los Angeles as you both make a comeback to the ring with you at age 51 and Mike age 54. The fight is available exclusively at Fight.tv and Triller in the US and BT Sport here in the UK. Roy, welcome to London Real.
Thank you, my brother. So glad to be here.
Hey, thanks so much for coming. I appreciate it. Roy, for people that have never been in a fight in their lives, what are these last few days of preparation like? What is the mental process? Do you go kind of quiet? Do you go introspective? Or, what is it like these days before a bout?
You go a little introspective, but you also go about trying to figure out, or realizing how good life has been, how good God has been to you. You try to appreciate the things that you've accomplished, the things that you've tallied in your life. It's very important that you reflect on your life and know who you were, who you are, because nothing promises you that you're going to come out the same. So you have to get your one or two last glimpses of life as it was. Get your last few words out to anybody you need to fix anything up where you need to fix that, because you never know what tomorrow holds. So when I get down to the last moment, it's like getting ready to go to war in a sense, because when you get on a plane to go to a war, you don't know that you're ever coming back. And that's the same way you do in a boxing match. You don't know that you're ever going to be the same. So when you get down to the last few days, you just kind of reflect on your life. You show your appreciation. You enjoy what you've done. And if you really love fighting, then you feel like it's the happiest time in the world for you.
Huh. Have you always had this gratitude ritual, or is this something that you appreciate more as you get older?
I've always had that gratitude ritual, always.
Wow. And is this ultimately why you fight then, to give you those moments of clarity where you can be grateful for having this opportunity to be alive?
I wouldn't say that's necessarily why I fight, but I do know that that's part of why I am who I am. Because if you don't appreciate things, then if you don't have something that'll make you appreciate it, then you'll take it for granted. But fighting makes me appreciate it, because, like I said, I know anytime anything can happen. I mean, look what happened with Nigel Benn and Gerald McClellan. Gerald thought that was just going to be another fight that he'd win, and look what happened, never fought again. So you have to know that, take those things into perspective before you go in the ring, because any day can be your last day. Tomorrow's not promised to nobody.
Yeah, I had Nigel Benn in the studio years ago when we talked about that fight. And I remember I started that interview off and I said, Nigel, you're a boxer. He said, no, I'm not a boxer. I'm a fighter. He said, when I go in there, I don't know if I'm coming out. And it's serious business. But I think a lot of times as a fan, we don't see that aspect of it.
You don't see the aspect of it and you don't hear the aspect of it. And that's why it's so different with even other sports, because sometimes people don't understand that when you go into a fight, it's not guaranteed that you're coming out.
I think you once said, and this is a quote from you, you said, quote, I'm from a world where it's about animalistic survival. The animals don't run, they don't make excuses, they don't cry, they fight, they win, or they die. Is that mentality you're talking about?
That's exactly that mentality I'm talking about. And so many people take that mentality for granted or don't get the fact that this is life, this is what it really is. So, we get away from things like that, yet like I said, what confuses me is that, like, even in my country, this country, you have to take, and at 17 years old or 18 years old, you have to sign up to be drafted to a war. And if you get drafted to a war, you got to go put your life on the line. And for most kids, it's something that they never even thought of, something that they never even had a nightmare about. They know nothing about putting their lives on the line at 17 or 18 years old. Are you serious? But if a war breaks out, they have to be signed up to be shipped off to war. But they tell you that they don't want you to associate with animals or anything like that will fight to the death. And I understand what they're trying to say, but if you're gonna send my kid to fight for the death, to the death and put his life on the line, at least give him some parallels or something that he can relate to give him an idea of what he's about to go face.
Do you think we're too disconnected in this world where, it's about the Netflix and the Starbucks and we don't have a real appreciation for how valuable our life is because it's not tested on a regular basis?
We're far too disconnected. We're so disconnected that we got to walk around now with masks on that's supposed to prevent you from catching a disease, that they also tell you why you got a mask on, that you got a social distance. Wait a minute now. If the mask is stopping me from getting the disease, then why do I have to stay away from people with it? Does that make sense? If the mask is stopping anything, then why do I have to stay away from people too? Because, and if I can wear the mask, but I can take it down to eat. Well, it don't take but a second for you to inhale and get it. So if I can take it down to eat, then why am I wearing it? Because if I take it down to eat, if the disease is anywhere around, I'm gonna catch it. So if I took it down to eat, then why do I have to even put it on? And like I said, once again, it's proven that people that have been wearing the mask still come up with the disease. So is the disease really about the mask, or is the mask about something else? It's hard to really say. So I choose preferably not to wear a mask, because if I get it, okay, I get it. If I don't, okay, I don't. But I don't really care, because if I wear a mask, but I can take my mask down to eat or drink water, then I'm still making myself available to whatever virus this is that they're talking about. So I think life has gotten so bad, and people are used to getting bullied now. People get bullied into everything. They're bullying us into wearing masks. They're bullying us into taking vaccines. It's just all about being bullied now. Everything's about bullying you. The same one thing that they always talked about not happening is what's happening to us now. Because if you don't wear a mask in certain places, you can't go. You can't participate. You can't shop. You can't do anything unless you have a mask on. A mask that does not stop you from getting this virus, because if it did, then why would we have to stay 6 feet apart? Which also is not a good distance, because if somebody sneezes, you need to be 15 to 25 feet away from them in order not to catch whatever they sneezed out in their sneeze. So that's still wrong too. But all of this to make us wear a mask.
Right. It's almost like, Roy, we've lost the chance to fight for ourselves, right? To stand up and fight back. I mean, you fight in the ring, but it's almost like we've lost the ability to even fight for what we believe in.
And they're steadily taking that right for us to fight for ourselves away from us every day. And they convince so many of us that it's right and that's the right thing to do, that we're not even paying attention to what's really happening. Listen, look at it. Why wear a mask if the mask is not stopping you from contracting the disease? How crazy is that? And if you can wear the mask, but you can take it down to eat or you can take it down to drink, then obviously you're still making yourself liable to catching that disease. So why is that mask so important? It's not. It's really not. But you're defacing us by covering us, bringing us come like this. No emotions. You can't read just eyes. The emotions happen with the whole face. If you hide this much, there's no emotion. You can't see many emotions at all. So you see no love, you see no hate, you see nothing, and it's not really good at all.
Yeah, well, I could definitely talk to you for a couple hours about this whole issue. That's for sure. We've had quite a few discussions about it. Do you think this year has been interesting, Roy, because people have had to see their life potentially end for decisions they're going to make, whereas you have been aware of this for a long time, but a lot of people reacted in ways we didn't expect them to this year when all of a sudden they're faced with there being a chance of death, even though we all know every day there's a chance of dying. Has it been strange to watch the public react to this new situation?
It is. It's very strange because I know it because I deal with it on a daily basis because I box. But people in the public, normal public people, don't deal with it every day because they have no clue that this is what's really happening. So it's been strange to watch other people go through it because not many people can understand it until they're hit with it. Now that they're being hit with it, it's funny to see how some people react. It's also funny to see how people use fear to control people.
Yeah, no, it's true. We keep losing your picture there, but hopefully we can figure that out. It's true because, every day we have a chance of dying, and yet this year, all of a sudden, because of what's in the news, it seems like a lot of people completely change their behavior when the truth is that every day is a risk. And some people know that, I guess people like you that jump in the ring, but it's been fascinating. I'm sure you've seen it. Some people you expect to react one way and some people react another way, and it's not always what you thought.
Never what you thought. It's always totally different from what you thought.
Yeah, it shows real character, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me, Roy, what's it like to be looking at this match coming up, only days away, to know that this looks like it's trending to be the biggest boxing match of the year, according to odds makers in Vegas? Did you ever think or imagine that at 51, you're going to be part of the biggest boxing match of the year in 2020?
Only the grace of God could have made this happen this way. I never would have thought at 51 that I would even be close to a boxing ring. And I definitely never thought that at 51 I would be getting involved in probably the biggest fight of my life and the biggest fight of my career. So only God can do things like that. This is the biggest fight that I probably will ever take part in. And like I say, it's just a blessing to me from God that we are able to experience a fight at this time, because both myself and Mike Tyson are two guys who feel like we missed that social media era where Floyd made all the money at, and we missed it, but we were probably way more exciting, but we missed that era. And now we get an opportunity to come back and revisit this era, and it's got to be a blessing from God.
And what about the timing? I mean, how much does the world need something like this, Roy, to get our minds off the post-election malaise and the lockdowns and the pandemics and the masks? I mean, people, more than ever, they just really need this release, don't they?
Yes, they do. And that's really the only reason I think I probably agreed to it so quickly, because I feel like with God giving us the opportunity at a time like this, is God saying, look, you ain't the kind of person that's going to say no when people need you. And right now, people need something. So when Mike asked, God already knew that I was going to say yeah, because this is a time that people need something to do. And really, it's like being in need is a great thing for us, because it gives people nothing other to do than to sit home and see something that they wish they could have seen 20 years ago. Well, here it is. A spectacle.
It's a spectacle. Here it is. And it's the thing happening that weekend, right? I mean, that's pretty intense.
And on Thanksgiving weekend. So thank God for giving us these opportunities, because it's a truly thankful weekend.
Do you remember the moment when you actually got the first call that proposed this thing? And do you remember like literally those microseconds that went through your brain when it finally was like, whoa, what are you talking about? Could this really happen? Can you walk me through the emotions or the logic going on?
When I got the call, I was like, man, they're talking about 6 weeks from now, September 12th. And from what I've seen from Mike Tyson, there's no way he can beat me in 6 weeks. I've been active. He hasn't. So if they're going to give me a fight with Mike Tyson, but September 12th, 6 weeks, yes, I'll take that. Of course, people inside from the pandemic, they don't know what to do. They have no entertainment right now. Everybody's looking for something to do. Two of the biggest names ever in the sport of boxing get together and can fight. I mean, whatever. If they call it exhibition, call it what you want, but this is Mike Tyson. So no such thing as exhibition when it comes to him. So I'm like, wow, in 6 weeks, he can't possibly beat me in 6 weeks. So yes, I'll take it. Then all of a sudden they say, now we got to push it back to November 28th. I had to take a little breath on that one because now half my plan just went out the window. Now you got to go look at it from a different set of eyes. So that's how I've been doing it.
Roy, let me ask you a question. How do you deal with the universe when it throws you those type of challenges? Do you look at it as is God just throwing you this challenge and he knows you can handle it? Is this part, if you really want to do something great, is it always going to have extra challenges on top of it?
To be great, you have to do exceptional things. So if it doesn't have an extra challenge on top of it, it won't make you great. So to be great, you have to do great things. Great things come with great challenge, great risk, great rewards. So everything is a risk, but it's a great reward. And the greater the risk, the better the greater the reward. So with me, I already knew that, coming with great risk would be great reward. Now that risk can be life ending, but that reward could be everlasting. So who knows?
So you're first thinking, okay, wow, now you got an extra 2 months plus to train. And then now some other things start changing and you're thinking, okay, this is a whole different ballgame than what I signed up for. But at the same time, you can look back and say, now I got the in shape Mike. So when I'm, 20 years from now, when we're talking about this is a different conversation. Is that the kind of thing you're thinking?
Yes, I could beat the best Mike that Mike could have got. They gave him time to go get ready for me. They gave him time to go get ready for me. So now I beat him when he got the opportunity to be at his best. He can't say, well, I wasn't at my best. It happened in 6 weeks, because that's what I was looking at first. I was like, why would I not do that? I know I can get better, get ready in 6 weeks. He can't. I knew I can't. So I'm like, why would I not take that? But now you give him 2 months, 3 months. It's a little bit different, but guess what? He gets a chance to be his best, and we'll see what happens.
Right, and there's been more excitement, more buildup, more interest as this has gone on. So in some ways, it has made it more interesting. Tell me about the transformation you watched of Mike, because like you said, when he first agreed to this bout, I mean, if you see pictures of him on his show or whatever, I mean, in the nicest way possible, he looks like kind of the middle-aged man down the street, He looks real out of shape with kind of the pot belly and stuff, but now he's been training, and he had that interview with Rogan and the interview after with Rogan. I know you've been and talked to Joe as well, but it's almost like two different people.
Two totally different people, but that's what 3 months can do for you. And that's what I expected. I knew that if he got 3 months, he come like a totally different man. But guess what? I'm ready for either one of them, so I don't care which one will show up. They already got me in a situation where I couldn't really necessarily say, no, I don't want to do it now because it's not fair. Well, guess what? Fair is fair, y'all. Bring whatever you got. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want me to bring my best? Bring me your best. I'll take your best and I'll make the best of it. So bring me your best. That's what I love doing anyway. Bring me your best and I'll take care of the rest.
Mike had said he's moving out of his house now because he can't even be around his family. And like I said, well, that's the same with you, yeah? You just got to get away.
Well, I'm up here in Pittsburgh. I can't deal with my needs right now. It would be unfair to them.
Is that because everything sets you off at this point because you're getting honed and ready to go in for an ultimate battle? Is that why? Or is it just distractions?
No, everything sets you off right now. Any little thing that happens, you go from 0 to 100 quick, immediately.
Okay.
And I might 0 to 1,000.
Right. Okay. Even at 51, it's still the same thing. The brain doesn't change.
You're a fighter at heart. That does not change at all. If that's what you are, that's what you are. And that's what we are.
I've heard of, NFL players on Sunday, they get quiet, and their wives leave them alone. And not to compare myself to what you do, but before like a big episode, man, you better just let me get in my own head and let me mentally prepare. A lot of things set me off. Is this a natural human phenomenon?
Same exact thing.
Same thing. Okay. And you could see the way Mike was talking to Joe on that second episode, man, he had an edge to him. It was like that Mike was back. And Mike always said he didn't like that Mike. And for the first time, I could see why he didn't like that Mike, because we like the Mike And we like the guy that fights that way, but to live with that guy all the time is probably not a pleasant thing.
Mm-hmm. That's probably true.
Right. It's probably true about you too, you don't want to be in that mode all the time.
I hate to be in this mode at any time because this the guy that was capable of doing anything. This guy couldn't, who cares? He don't give a damn, and that's not good. So when they put him in that mode, that's what he got to be. That's what he got to be. That's what you're going to face anyway, so why not?
Right, right. Tell me about just the details around the fight. You know, they're calling it an exhibition. I want to get your thoughts on that. I don't know how many rounds it started off at, but as for what I understand now, it's 8 rounds, and it's 2-minute rounds. Tell me about all of the talk, the hype, and now the details of this. How does it change things?
Well, it started out probably a 3-round exhibition, 3-minute rounds. Then it went to 6 rounds. Then it went to 8 rounds. Now it dropped to 2 minutes. Then it went from 14-ounce gloves and headgear to 12-ounce gloves and no headgear. What kind of exhibition is that? You fight Mike Tyson with 12-ounce gloves, which is only 2 ounces bigger than the normal fight gloves, no headgear, and Mike Tyson, and you call that an exhibition? And then you give him 2-minute rounds so he doesn't get an opportunity to gas out as quick. So you make him more dangerous for a longer period of time, for a longer amount of rounds, but you're cutting the rounds down to 2 minutes. Okay, so you try to make sure everything you can fix to fit Mike Tyson to make sure he's okay, you're going to make it like that, which is cool with me. I mean, just throw Roy in there, Roy be fine. Throw Roy in as a sacrificial lamb. Watch the sacrificial lamb go to work.
Those 2-minute rounds, where is the leeway there, Roy? I mean, 8 2-minute rounds.
I'm going to tell you right now, but there's a lot of leeway in there. Trust me. It's a lot of leeway in there. I've been working on 10 rounds. It's a lot of leeway in there. So I'm good with that now. At first, I had a problem with it. Now I'm good with it.
Why is that? Because you settled with it, or you got to see the cracks inside that setup?
I got to see the cracks. I started out working on a different strategy, but now I see the cracks in the 2-minute strategy, and I see what the real deal is there, so I can work with that.
Is there anything you can share with us that's the crucial element that no one's seeing? No. But you know what it is.
Yeah, it's a crucial element no one's seeing. I am still Roy Jones. Y'all must have forgot.
I'm guessing that when the 5th round and the bell dings and you both are coming out, it doesn't matter at that point. At that point, it's on, and it doesn't matter if it was 4-minute rounds.
Even Steven. At that round 5 is even Steven. Hot damn. That's when you bring out the spices because it's time to cook.
All right, so that's it then. The round 5, when you're there, then it's time to cook.
You're going to bring out your spices because it's time to cook.
All right, and until then?
Until then, I got to play smart, survive, do my thing, make sure I don't get caught with nothing crazy. Just be Roy Jones of old. But by round 5, here come the hot sauce, baby.
I was watching some old docs with Mike Tyson, and he said he used to suffer from asthma. And I don't know if he still got that, but obviously we know most of his career, it was over really quick. When it went in the later rounds, it didn't usually go for him. Are you expecting that to be a case as well?
No, not really expecting that to be a case because up here in California, PA, where I trained at, I was running up this mountain when I first started, and I think I might have had asthma. I was like, whew, oxygen ain't as free as it used to be. So both of us might be sharing some asthmatic symptoms, but we're going to be all right. It's like the longer it goes, the better it is for me because of my speed and my head movement and my reflexes. So I was a guy who was a speed reflexes guy, and the longer the fight goes, the better it is for me.
Okay. Now, the odds in Vegas started off with you, the favorite. Now they got Tyson, the favorite. What do you make of that?
I hope they keep him the favorite.
Okay. You'd rather go in that way because it's better.
I like a little chip on my shoulder. I like when they tell me I can't do it. That's what I love. That's what I live for.
Okay.
Tell me I can't. Think I ain't. Watch me.
How are things different at 51? I think you said the speed hasn't gone, which almost shocks you said. But what is different?
Only thing different is the recovery time. You got to take more recovery time. You can't do it three and 4 days back to back like you could when you was 25. You understand me? Or 31.
Yeah.
Recovery time is important. And that's what I got to start working on right now. Because now I'm at a crucial time where recovery time becomes very costly to me. If I overdo it right now, I could lose the fight before I go into it. But if I keep it right now, Dan. I know y'all saw him on Shark Week, right? Here go the shark right here.
Roy, do you visualize the win? Is that your type of thing?
Of course I do all the time.
Okay. And how do you do that, if I don't mind asking? Do you see yourself with the hands raised? Do you see yourself at the after party? How do you visualize that?
Just see myself with the hands raised, walking around the ring. That's usually it.
Okay. And you've always done that?
Always.
Okay. How do you still have the speed at 51, Roy?
Man, listen, that's what I've been trying to figure it out myself. I don't really understand it. I honestly, this is not me being facetious. This is not me being arrogant. Nothing. I'm just telling you, honest God truth. I really don't understand how in the heck I still can be so fast at 51 years old. I almost have to go look at my own birth certificate. But I know because the next day I feel it. But when it's happening, when I look at it myself sometimes, I be like, wow, how? I don't understand. But I guess it's partially technique and mostly a gift from God.
Okay. Wow. Tell me about this, the details of the fight. You're getting drug tested by USADA? Is that true? It's all by the books in that sense?
But it's an exhibition, though. USADA in an exhibition, really? Is it to protect Roy or is it to protect Mike? What is it for? Cause I don't know. USADA in an exhibition. Have you ever heard of something like that in your life?
No.
USADA in an exhibition, really? So is this really an exhibition?
So it's not an exhibition.
You slowly figuring out the clues like I did, huh? It took me a little while to figure it out too, but I got it. Thank God we got it in time. I got the memo, the same memo you just got, I got it too.
And what, does that bother you that this isn't being called a real fight?
No, it don't really bother me. It just bothers me that y'all tried to trick me and say it was an exhibition at first. That's what bothered me.
Okay, gotcha. I don't...
Y'all still got the label exhibition vibe, but y'all got 12-ounce gloves. Y'all got USADA. I mean, y'all got no headgear. What? Really? Okay.
I think everyone's treating this as a very serious fight, you know.
Like my man Buzzer say, hello.
But USADA's in the house, so both you guys are getting tested, and that's all legit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because Mike looks great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's all happening.
That's all happening.
Whew, okay, all right. And so you fly out to LA in the next week. You'll get set up there, and then it's on for the Staples Center.
Then it's on from there.
Okay. There's been a lot of people talking about this fight. Some people saying good things, some people saying bad things. It's usually other promoters that aren't getting in on the action that I've noticed. Some here in Britain as well, and some are saying, guys your age shouldn't be in there, this shouldn't be happening. What do you say to them?
Guys their age shouldn't be had to wear a mask, so they have to worry about COVID-19. So everybody got their own problems, right? You deal with your problem, I deal with mine. How about that?
Okay. Roy, do you think we're going to see more fights like this, or is this kind of a, lightning strikes where the two of you are in the perfect point?
Honestly speaking, I don't know if we're going to see any more fights like this. I know that from my standpoint, I was just looking at an opportunity to give the public something at a bad time, at a time when everybody was shut in and having all these issues with the COVID-19. People were having nothing to do, no entertainment. I thought this would be a great opportunity to entertain people when it came across my desk. That's the only thing I thought about. I didn't think about nothing else, no other fight, no other fighters. I didn't care about what nobody else did, and I still don't care what nobody else does. But my trainer day before yesterday, told me in training that he's having so much fun that after this fight, everything goes well, we should probably at least try to do it one more time. Where he get that conception from, I don't know. I guess it's in the back of his mind, so I guess we have to think about it. Because I am a team player, and as a team player, you have to kind of look at doing what your team want to do. So,
is that one more time with Mike or one more time with someone else?
He don't give a damn who it is, and neither do I.
All right, so we could bring back the classics, Frank Bruno, Evander Holyfield. Line them up.
We don't give a damn who it is.
Now you're, correct me if I'm wrong, you were sparring with Chris Eubank Jr. over there as well, and other people that are keeping you fresh?
I work with them a little bit. I ain't really spar with them. I work with them a bit, yes. Spar some guys, keep me fresh, some younger guys, younger heavyweights for sure. And yes, everything's been going well. Okay.
One thing we've seen from Mike is we've seen all of these short highlight clips, but we haven't seen sparring footage. And I see it and it's impressive stuff, but as Bruce Lee once said, bored don't hit back. So it's one thing on the pads, another thing in sparring. What do you make of that?
Well, he's hiding his sparring because I seen him not long ago. He had a cut over his eye, and he didn't get that cut over his eye from the pads. So he doing something that just ain't showing you. So don't be fooled by it. They trying to, like I told you, they try to tell you it's an exhibition. Now they trying to tell you he ain't sparring. They putting out little clips like he ain't doing it. Where that cut came from? I ain't never got cut hitting the pads. Where the cut come from?
All right. So, all right. All right. So you think, all right. So you think part of this is trying to get you to come in the ring not prepared?
Relaxed, thinking, it's just an exhibition. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now, there was other names thrown around before you were announced with the fight, whether it was Evander or Shannon Briggs. Why do you think it finally happened with you, and how does that change the dynamic of the fight?
None of them cute as I am. None of them are as fan-pleasing as I am. None of them know how to talk like I talk the talk and walk the walk. Nobody really is interested in seeing them. They already seen that with Mike Tyson. They want to see something new, something exciting, something creative, something that's innovative, somebody that come in with a whole different mindset and make things happen the right way. That's ain't but one guy, Roy Jones Jr., Superman, Captain Hook.
You once said, Roy, you're addicted to fighting. Can you explain that?
I still am. I'm so addicted to fight that. Like to say, when the guy told me that day before yesterday, when he told me that we need to do it again, I wanted to say no right away, but I just couldn't make myself say it. I was gonna say, no, this is the last one we do. That's what was in my mind, saying, please tell him no. That's it, we ain't doing no more. But it just wouldn't come out. I was trying to say, I just couldn't get it out. that means you have an addiction. That's a pretty bad addiction.
Explain that addiction. And are there healthy addictions? Do those exist or in your mind?
There are healthy addictions too, but this addiction is the worst because it would be a healthy addiction if I like just training and not fighting. If I like to just train and stay in shape, that's really healthy. That's a great addiction. And I do have that one too. But the problem is when I'm doing it, if you say something wrong to me, get me rubbed the wrong way, I can't say no to a good, I just can't say no to it. So it's like I said no to drugs my whole life. I said no to alcohol. I said no to cigarettes. I said no to all kinds of things that I'm supposed to say no to. But fighting just never was on my no list. I just can't. When Mike called and said he wanted to fight me, I thought about it. I said, this is Mike Tyson, fool. You 51. You ain't got no business going to him. He can hurt you. I said, you're right. Should tell him no. Yes, I'll fight. Oops. It came out again.
And what is that? Do you want to show the world? Do you want to show yourself?
It ain't nothing about showing the world. The world has seen it already. They can go back and look at YouTube. They got enough. I gave them so much entertainment back then. They can look at that from now on. Yeah. I gave them enough to look at. It ain't got nothing to do with the world. It ain't got nothing to do with the world at all. It's this cycle that lives inside of here. Okay. There's two me's. It's one that's got sense and one that don't got sense. Or don't have sense, I should say. So there's a sensible guy and an unsensible guy. And the unsensible guy usually bullies the sensible guy to making things happen that the unsensible guy want to make happen. The sensible guy try to tell him no, but the unsensible guy goes crazy until he gets his way.
Amen. That's the story of most people's lives watching this right now. But Roy, you got to admit, that's usually the fighter's curse, is that guys don't know when to stop. We've seen it over and over again. Hey, Tyson's last 5 years, it was him not being able to say no. So how do you work with that dynamic as a fighter?
Well, how you work with that dynamic as a fighter is, if I couldn't sit here right now and have a good conversation with you and couldn't understand what you were saying to me, and you couldn't understand what I was trying to say back to you, then it would probably be time for me to start considering saying no. But as long as I can talk and you can understand what I'm saying, and I got a good enough mind to know that, hey, I'm here and you there, and we're on this Zoom thing, and I know that I don't want to be wearing a freaking mask, then shit, I can fight.
And how did you stay that way that long? Was it just not taking shots and training intelligently?
Not taking shots in the bar either, though. But
right.
Shots, no drugs, just being smart, just trying to preserve my life, preserve my body for the long haul. Not knowing that the haul was going to last this long, but I did want to preserve my body for the long haul.
Okay. Did you also make an effort not to spar, in an unsenseless manner, not to go in there and just leave it all in the sparring ring before fights?
Yes, I did. And that's something that me and my coach have things with right now. He wants you to spar these young heavyweights and go bang it out with them, but that's not smart for me. I've been boxing 40 years. I don't need 41 years. I don't need that much contact to my brain. I got enough. 41 years, you have to have some contact. A lot of contact in 41 years. I'm a 41-year vet. I've been boxing 41 years. And you still can understand 95% of what comes out of my mouth. That's pretty good.
Yeah. But it's almost like new innovation in the last 5-10 years for fighters knowing not to spar too much. You know, the old school way used to be the more rounds, the better. So you were ahead of your time in knowing that, and that probably preserved you.
It did preserve me. And also who told me that, who helped further reinforce my thought train was Jimmy Young. I met Jimmy Young when I was about 17. And Jimmy Young was kind of messed up then. And Jimmy Young said, you know how I got like this? I said, how? He said, this didn't happen to me from boxing, in the ring boxing. This happened from me sparring too much. I said, really? He said, yes. So that's when I knew.
Wow, so smart. It's such a simple understanding, but it makes such a massive difference. And you see it in fighters, you see it in MMA fighters as well.
Yep.
The guys that overtrain. Tell me, when you look at Mike's career, especially those last 10, 15 years, you know, people look at Mike, and since they're not fighters, Roy, they don't understand some of the choices he made and what's going on in his head. But since you were a fighter and you know, A, what it's like to be in the ring, C, what it's like to fight your demons, then to be in the public eye. I mean, for you to see the trajectory of Mike's, you know, tragic career, the ups and the downs, can you see that and comprehend it more so than, say, the average person?
Yes, I can, because actually it was not really a tragic career. There was some tragedies that occurred in his career, but it wasn't tragic. And he's actually turned it around and made it even more phenomenal at the end, because now he's doing things that he loves to do. He's making money doing the things that he loves to do. So he turned his life completely around again. So to me, in the end, he's still a success story. Nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, maybe some of the choices and decisions he made, but some of the choices I think were wrongfully done, because I can't see, first of all, how you put him in jail when somebody goes to his room at 10 o'clock at night, and what are you going to Mike Tyson's room expecting to happen at 10 o'clock at night? I mean, look how big Mike Tyson was. Look how huge Mike Tyson is. Who goes to Mike Tyson's room at 10 o'clock at night and not expecting something crazy to happen? So to me, it's like, I'm not saying you should do nothing wrong to anybody, but to me, it seemed like the person went there looking for trouble, almost. I'm not sure they did, but it's just, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can see both sides, but some things I can't really hold him accountable for. Other things you can't hold him accountable for. So it's like, he had his life, he had his ups and downs, which we all have our ups and downs. But for the most part, I don't see him being the bad guy people always try to make him out to be. I think he's a better guy than that, and I know he's a lot smarter than people make him out to be. So I think his career has been really pretty awesome, with a few black spots in it. But who doesn't have an awesome career that doesn't have black spots in it? Even the ones that are not seen, they're there, so we just don't see them all. So everybody has these black spots, dark spots. Just some are negated differently by the public or by the media, and some are not. He is just so happen to all be out in the media. So he's no different than anybody else, in my opinion, just except that he did a great job recovering from where he started at.
Yeah, it's fascinating to hear him talk now about some of the things that he did. Have you heard him talk about like the times in the past when he lashed out at the press and got in the face of fighters? When he talks about it now, he's like, yeah, that's the scared me coming out. That's what I did when I was scared and insecure. But most of us don't understand that mentality of a fighter, because we just think he's just being a bad, scary man, but would never understand that maybe he was actually in fear himself.
Mm-hmm. And he was a lot of time, but he's not afraid to admit that now, because he's grown up. That's called a maturity. He's matured to a point to where he can admit those issues now. When he was on top of the world, he couldn't admit that. It would make him look soft or look weak, and people would have took advantage of it. But now that he's beyond that point, he can admit that now. It's called maturity.
Do you listen to his podcast and stuff? Because he's a fascinating, highly intelligent, highly spiritual guy who understands the human condition at a level I don't think most people would ever imagine.
Of course, no, I don't listen to him, but I know he's very smart. I knew that already, so I told you he's a very smart guy. I knew that anyway. And he knows a lot more than people give him credit for. So,
yeah. Tell me about your heroes, Muhammad Ali and other people that you have seen from the past. You said Muhammad was by far the greatest inside and outside the ring. Why do you say that?
Because of what he stood for, all the things he did, all the people he brought together. If you saw even at his funeral, there were monks, there were Muslims, there were Christians, there was everything. Every background, every ethnic background, every religious background, everybody was there to show homage to the great Muhammad Ali. Why? Because of what he stood for and how he always tried to bring people together. He used his blessing, his gift from God to help change the world and to try to bring people together, to unite people, to unite brothers and sisters. No matter the race, no matter the religion, he did that to help unite people. And that's the biggest thing in life to me, is to try to unite people. So I try to take his tradition, what he stood for, and try to carry that on even in my time. So right now, it's like, it's difficult, especially with the time we're going through right now, and especially in the United States, because the country being so divided. But it's like, we're all supposed to be children of God. Whether we believe in the same things or not, we're still children of God. We probably have more ways of communicating than any other animal on the planet, because we can write, we can talk, we can do sign language, we can do it all. Yet we have the hardest time communicating and getting along. Why is that? Because we're not loving and caring enough or considerate for the next person. So people all out to turn us against one another. Like right now, this mask thing is making life miserable for people. People don't know what love is anymore, because they're stuck in houses, they're stuck behind masks, they can't see smiles. It's the craziest thing ever. And it's starting to make people get to a point to where they're even starting to commit suicide, because there's no love. You go to a hospital room to get surgery and you can't have no family back there with you. You have no support. Part of wanting to live is that, other people care or depend on you or love you. These type things help you emotionally survive. These type things help you stay alive, period. But when you don't have those things, then what you got to live for? So you go get cut on, you're in pain, you're hurting bad, you want to give up, but you see your loved ones right here at the bed saying, no, you can make it. It gives you encouragement to fight, just like in a boxing match. You want to give in, but you see people saying, no, come on, you got this, champ. You take a few more, keep going, trying to win it, because you got people that really are hopeful that you can win it. You understand me? You're living almost for them. They're living vicariously through you. So because you know that they wish so bad that they could do it, and that they want for you so bad to do it, because it'll mean the world to them, you do it. But when you don't have that, and that's what society is doing right now, they're taking that away from us by covering us up. And it's really bad.
Yeah. And Muhammad always brought people together. Do you think people have forgotten what a big deal it was for him to say, I'm not going to go fight in the Vietnam War, and to allow them to strip his title? I mean, could you even conceive of a fighter doing that these days? I mean, that was such a big move, and it's one of the things he's most remembered for.
That was the biggest thing he probably ever did. I mean, who would say, take my title, put me in jail because I ain't going to kill some people that I don't know why I'm killing them for? Who would stand up for themselves like that today? Not nobody. We won't even stand up against the people for making us wear these masks right now. Right. You can't find people that are saying, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't care what it is. Look how long we've survived. Look how long we've survived in this world without a mask. Now all of a sudden we got to have a mask to survive. Is that what God really meant for us? All the years we made it through our time without a mask. Now you telling me we can't survive without a mask? We got to have a mask in order to survive, and a mask that's still not stopping us. I don't see the rate going down. The rate still just is plummeting. It's going high now. I mean, it's escalating now because of we still wear masks, but because of the time of the year, it's still going up. So it's like, how can you tell me that the mask is doing anything? It's not. But we don't have the guts enough today to stand up and say we're not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. People can't even do that, and yet there it is, Muhammad Ali saying, here, take my title away, take everything away from me.
In the worst times, do it. In the worst times, racism and everything else. Yeah. He said, I don't care. I'm not going to fight them people. Them people ain't did nothing to me. Take my title.
Yeah,
man, it gets no bigger than that. And like I said, for us, we should all think about that. I wish we knew more about that, because maybe we don't understand now that these people pushing our backs against the wall with these masks. And we would fight back and stop it, but we can't, because we don't understand history. We don't understand people like him who touched so many people's lives. That's why I started boxing, because of how great he was and what he used his gift from God to do. He used that gift from God to say so many things in so many different ways, but we still forget them.
Yeah. You say as humans, we have a hard time communicating, and I agree with you. Do you think fighting is a way of communicating? I mean, so many people watch Muhammad Ali fight who weren't fight fans. And they watched a man get into the ring and put it on the line and stand for what he believed in. I mean, is fighting this kind of way we can communicate with each other? Because in ways, there are people putting their lives on the line. You can see hearts. You know, it's almost like an opera unfolding in front of you of what the human condition is. Is that why you think we're attracted to it?
Most definitely. It's the closest thing to life that you're ever going to find. A fight.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.